Today was very important for Liverpool, and the win even more so. There was a circus following Liverpool around. Now, I'm not saying Liverpool were the circus. There was a circus following Liverpool around over the situation with Mohamed Salah. A big one. Will he be on the bench? Will he play? Will he start? You saw, yes, the article came out yesterday before it was announced he'd be in the matchday squad. But we saw Jamie Carragher do his utmost to divide Liverpool fans. I'm paraphrasing what he said slightly, but it was only real hardcore Liverpool supporters will back the manager here. If you're backing Salah in any capacity, you're not a real fan. If there's a choice between backing a legend like Mo or backing the Liverpool manager, real hardcore Liverpool fans will only ever back the manager. And as I said last night, and I'll say again now, that wasn't needed. Unity and togetherness is what was needed for this Liverpool team. And Jamie Carragher has done a terrible job of doing that. Mo Salah came on today, and I wouldn't say at his greatest of games. Probably should have got another assist, maybe even scored a goal. But he worked hard. He definitely didn't throw his right back under the bus. He was defending. He was pressing. He gave his all for the team, which he promised he would do. So no sign here that Mo Salah is downing tools or trying to force a move out. What was needed all week, and Steven Gerrard got it correct, is what Mo Salah demonstrated today. What the Liverpool supporters, I think, threw right back at people like Jamie Carragher. They cheered him when he came on the pitch. They cheered him when he did good things. They encouraged him to do his best. They had a moan and a criticise when he made mistakes on the pitch. That is the balance that's been needed. So well done to Mo Salah today for stepping up. Bit of output from him as well with a very good corner that led to the second goal. But stepping up and delivering in the backdrop of a circus that was created by the mainstream media. Yes, he made a mistake. But people were trying to blow this all out of proportion all week, especially some of the ex-Liverpool legends or ex-Liverpool players and legends. They didn't need to do that. Maybe that was more about chasing clout than it was what's right for their club. But aside from that, getting back to Liverpool, it was always going to be a game where the opponents created chances because Brighton Football Club create chances against everybody. So I don't think this is a game that Liverpool fans can look at personally and say, could have conceded. Yeah, you could. But go and watch 10 Brighton games. Just pick 10 random Brighton games from the last 2 years, and I guarantee you, and make sure they're against hard teams, Arsenal's, Cities. Don't do Man United because they invariably batter us. Liverpool themselves, they always create chances. Very rarely do you nullify Brighton to a point where they don't create opportunities against you. So that isn't a fair way to judge. But what I saw from a Liverpool team today was a team that had a unity, a team that is fighting for their manager, a team that covered every blade of grass like professionals. I thought in the attack, there was a zip to the way they played, and you saw that in the opening couple of minutes. They pressed the living daylights out of Brighton, and it led to a really poor mistake. Minter just made a really schoolboy error. If you're going to clear your lines, you don't clear it into the middle of the pitch. You just don't do that. You don't just put the ball back into that danger zone. It was won by Gomez, and then there is a little bit of fortune. But that fortune came through Liverpool's kind of perseverance in those opening couple of minutes. Opening minute, wait a minute, a couple of minutes. It was in the 50th second. The ball falls to Hugo Ekitike, who had a little period where he wasn't scoring, but really seems to be back to his best now in front of goal. Thunders it home with his right foot into the roof of the net. And I don't think a Liverpool fan could have wished for a better start to the game than that. Rest of that first half, there were a couple of moments, and I noted them down. One in the... it was quite a solid response, really, from Brighton. And in the 12th minute or so of the game, they had a couple of chances. There was a really good ball that was put in behind where... for Gomez, where Alisson comes out, smothers it, and makes a really, really good save. Outside of that, there wasn't... That was in the 12th minute of the game, 13th minute of the game. There wasn't too much else for Liverpool to be worried about. In the second half, again, there was a couple of chances. There was Gomez at the back post, and there was Gruda, who hit just wide on the 55th minute. And then you also had a big opportunity for Matoma very soon after he came on. But outside of that, it was Liverpool really on the counter-attack after being 1-0 up. That I suppose the only real criticism you could throw at them would be they didn't kill the game off. They didn't absolutely end the football match at that particular moment and at that particular time. But I didn't feel that Liverpool were under that much stress, under that much duress, considering the backdrop of everything else that's been going on. Good substitutions from the manager. I think it was right to bring Chiesa on when he did. I think giving Hugo Ekitike had a little bit of a pull in his hamstring. It's probably just more cramped than it was an injury. Right for him to come off. But overall, I think it was a really important win for Liverpool. It's actually 3 clean sheets now in their last 5 games. 2 clean sheets on the bounce, a big win against Inter, and a big win against Brighton. Now, whether you're slot out on, and I think Liverpool fans are going to be in this weird conundrum because, I was asking for him to be sacked. Can I be happy with today? Of course you can. It doesn't mean Liverpool are completely fixed. It doesn't mean Liverpool are back to their absolute best. I still think there are levels to come out of this team. I still think there is so much more to come out of Viet, so much more to come out of Alexander Isak. I really do. But I thought it looked far more like a real Liverpool team today. And I get, if you're a slot outer, you'll probably pull on the fact that, well, Terry, you've named 3 or 4 big chances Brighton had. Brighton would have done that to you last season. In fact, they did do it to you last season. They do it to everybody. They really commit numbers forward when they attack. They create chances. That's just what Brighton do. But they're also a team that you can get a lot of counter-attack opportunities against. So I don't think there's anything to be concerned about or overly worried about in that regard personally. 50% of the ball. Yes, I mean they had actually more of the XG, and that might bother a lot of Liverpool fans. What I will say is that you had the chance for far more big opportunities in the game. I just think your counter-attacking was really poor in that second half. You probably should have scored another goal or 2. Could have got the ball a little bit closer to their net. That would have enabled that. But overall, as I say, I think Liverpool should be proud of that. Move on to your next game. Regroup. Salah's going to be going away for a few matches, so at least the circus will go away. And the circus, I mean the media talking about it too much. You go away to Tottenham, who have a terrible home record this season. You then play Wolves. You're pushing for that top 4 place. You're pushing for that Champions League spot. Go and get it done. But overall today, I really felt that Liverpool showed some real grit, some real determination. They defended hard. They got in great blocks. And they fought for their manager. They really, really did. And I think that's a good sign for Liverpool. I think that's a good sign for Arne Slot and a good sign for Liverpool supporters that the players are still giving it their absolute all. Whether you change your mind or not is irrelevant. I'm not even going to be asking anybody that question. If you want to answer it. But it's not really one that's out there. Let's talk about today's game in isolation, what you liked, what you didn't like. Can't wait to read your comments back on this below. Liverpool fans, let me know what you think. But a really, really important win today at home to Brighton. As I've said already, please like, share and subscribe if you haven't done so already.